Hello viewers, welcome. I'm Margie Benavides. So today's video I'd like to focus on the case of Nancy Guthrie. This is out of Tucson, Arizona, and we know that she's been missing since the beginning of February, and she was taken from her home. She lived in a pretty large house. It was about 3,200, or is about 3,200 square feet. She did live there alone. And the evening that she was last seen, she'd gone out to have dinner with her daughter and her family. And after dinner, around 9:45, her son-in-law brought her home. And he says that, I guess they went in through the garage, and he said that he walked her to the door that leads into the house from the garage. And then he left. And that was the last time that anyone saw her. So it looks like it was around in the middle of the night, after 1 o'clock, that some strange things started happening at her house. Eventually, the FBI was able to get a little bit of a video of a person. It looks like it's probably a man who's completely masked up and has a gun with a really cheap holster and a backpack. And apparently they say that most of the stuff that he's wearing was bought at Walmart. The strange things, I know that everyone has seen that video already. It's the only video so far that they have, but it looks like he's trying to cover up the doorbell camera with some leaves or something that he picked up, right outside the entryway. Now, we do not see a car. We can't see that. We don't know if there were other people, but I suspect that there are other people involved, at least one other, probably at least two, because I think that one of the reasons why they destroyed the doorbell camera is because another person was going to drive up with the car. And one of the things that we know is that there is blood in the entryway before you enter the home that matched to Nancy Guthrie, and only to Nancy Guthrie. So, this is all speculation. We don't know what happened. It's speculation as to what happened to her. Was she hit? Was she punched? Did she fall? Did she trip? What happened? Her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, who is a celebrity for the national morning news. And she seems like such a lovely, sweet person. I really like her. I've always, really enjoyed watching her work. And she's very smart. And she just seems like a really nice person. But this has devastated her and her family, And so she spoke recently and said that her mother was taken from her bed in the middle of the night. What horror for this 84-year-old woman to have gone through. And that it's evident that she left without any shoes or a coat or, anything. It's like she was just dragged out of her bed and taken out. Now, some of the people who have offered commentary about this situation, a lot of people that are former FBI staff in various positions, but they have said that, some have said that they think that the blood that is seen on the entryway, the one that, as I said, matches to Nancy Guthrie, that she probably coughed it up because of the way that it settled onto the tiles. They think that it might have been like the type of spraying that would have been from coughing. But I doubt that. And again, anything that I say here is my speculation, my opinion. Okay, I just want to make sure that you understand that. Okay, and this is for entertainment purposes. All right, but what I suspect is that isn't from her coughing up blood, because I doubt very much that somebody or these people would take her out of the house and allow her mouth to be normal, just to be not in other words, that she would not have had anything put over her mouth to stop her from making any noise, from screaming, or whatever it is that she might do, because they say that mentally, even though she was 84 years old, she was very lucid mentally. So nothing blocking her mouth. I really doubt that she would have been taken out that way. And it looks like the law enforcement still has not, they're not certain whether this was a kidnapping or a hit. Was this an abduction? But kidnappings, usually people want to get paid, all right? And they usually will give proof of the person who is of value to them, the person that they know they will get the money for. And that's why and they will get a hold of the person right away, or the family, or whoever has, whoever it is that they're extorting, or, for ransom for what they consider the property. In this case, it would be Mrs. Guthrie. But again, none of that happened. She was taken from her home. And that's just so disturbing and so incredibly cruel for somebody to do that to her. She was 84 years old. She lived in this house with her husband, who had passed away when her kids were teenagers, and she never remarried. And by all accounts, a good, decent human being. And who would want to do this to her? Well, again, law enforcement hasn't said that they know what the reason is. There's a lot of speculation, but one of the things that it's reasonable to look at, first of all, is who would gain from this. In what way, in what manner was this something that a person would go to this extreme to do this to this woman? If it's a kidnapping, then where's the person? Where is the ransom letter? The ransom letters that were sent to TMZ, and there were two of them also that were sent to a local station, leads me to believe that more than likely it's somebody locally. All right, I doubt very much that it is someone from outside the area. So I suspect it's somebody there. And again, I suspect that when she was taken out, her mouth was covered somehow so that she couldn't make any noise, because no neighbor heard anything either. She could have screamed. Nobody would take that chance. The other thing is, the other speculation that has been talked about is that it was a kidnapping that went bad, and that they screwed up, and this is what happened. And so then they weren't able to produce her to collect this money. That seems very unlikely. Okay, this person, whoever these people are, after the doorman, the person who was dressed in the mask and has on double gloves, and all of this little puppet show that he did outside of the house that day, I suspect that there was somebody inside already. We know that the back door was left open, and they said that it was kept open by a planter that she had in the back. But why would this happen? How could it be that, or even a burglary? People have suspected it might have been a burglary that went wrong. Well, there was a backpack on this person that is seen in the video, and it was busting at the seams. So burglaries, usually you want to be able to carry stuff out and quickly. And it looks like these people were there for well over an hour, and so we, wonder why would they be there for over an hour? This lady's 84 years old, and why is her blood, thrown on the tiles in the entryway? So she was, we know that she was there in that place, but why was the back door left open? And when did they come in? Was it when she was having dinner with her family? So again, it doesn't seem likely that this is a legitimate kidnapping. And we know that they have, law enforcement has discovered one fake ransom letter, and the person has been arrested, which is great. But there were several other letters that came in. They were getting more ridiculous as they went on. At one point, they wanted 1 Bitcoin, and then after that, they wanted half a Bitcoin, and that the person who was demanding this, the story is that he or she says that they knew who did it, and that they actually saw Mrs. Guthrie while she was alive, and that she no longer was alive, and that they wanted this money so that they could make a quick run because they don't want to stick around and perhaps also suffer the ramifications, legal ramifications that definitely they would have to do. But it just doesn't sound credible, and especially when the ransom demand goes down from 1 Bitcoin to half a Bitcoin. And we know that there's a legitimate reward for about $1.25 million, but there have been no bites, at least no legitimate bites. That is very strange, because one of the reasons why law enforcement does allow these, ransom or people to collect the rewards is because, and they can even do it anonymously. They do allow that because they want to get to the bottom of what happened. But in this case, and for the amount of money, it's a very large amount, because I think that $1 million of it is coming from the family. So usually the rewards aren't that large. But still, even though this was already out there, the person who was demanding Bitcoin down to half a Bitcoin, I know that changes daily, but we're talking about $30-something thousand when they could get well over $1 million. And when one of the things that this person said in one of the demand letters is that he was told not to say anything, or she was told not to say anything about it. And of course, this is something that has been that has been broadcast, these letters to TMZ, because after the initial 2 that went to the news station in that area, the rest of the letters, demand letters, went through TMZ. But again, this person really is everything that they say about it. Now they also are taking a chance, in that they're fearful for what the people might do to them, or for whatever reason. That this is broadcast, and that's going to be something that is going to be, if this were true, it's going to be easy to know which person in this party is singing. So again, that doesn't seem credible, and it's very cruel to send these demand letters out even from the beginning, when you know that you're not going to act on it. To me, it seems like the people who sent these letters and the whole Bitcoin thing, which is really it's the amount of money. It's just stupid. All right. So I feel like these letters were sent kind of like a decoy, you know, because whoever is behind this, whoever is the mastermind, wanted this to appear to be a kidnapping. Okay. But I don't think that it is. And I think that I think there's probably minimum of three people involved, somebody who was already in the home, and the person who eventually drove up in some kind of a vehicle, all right? I also suspect that they probably were already there when Nancy Guthrie came home from dinner. Again, we don't know, though. Nobody saw her. Nobody saw her come in. I think that the son-in-law who brought her home stated that it took 2 minutes from when the garage door, I know that there is some evidence that it was 2 minutes from when the garage door first opened and then when it closed. He does say that he walked her to the door that enters into the home. I know that this woman is 84 years old, and it's been said many times that she had a lot of ailments and she couldn't walk well, and she was in constant pain, especially her back. So it doesn't seem credible that a person would, the garage, wait for it to open and then drive the car inside and then get out, help the lady out, walk her to the door, make sure, I don't think he would shove her down the stairs. He would have to make sure she's inside the house, close the door, get back into the car and drive out. 2 minutes just doesn't seem likely. But, again, there's just right now no evidence of who is behind this, okay? And there's one area that I thought maybe should be looked at, which is maybe law enforcement at this point. But, we'll talk some more. Again, these are the thoughts of just ordinary people. I talk to my friends and acquaintances about things, and this is, up to now, this is pretty much what we speculate. But I do hope that they find who did this, and it would be great if Mrs. Guthrie were still alive. That would be a miracle, but it would be wonderful. But for sure, we need to know who did this, and they need to be punished. So catch you on the next one. Please like and subscribe. Bye.